In this video, I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on this Lexus IS250. Let's get started. Now underneath the vehicle, you'll locate your engine oil pan with the drain plug right in the center. This is a 14mm headed drain plug, so grab a wrench or a socket and ratchet and break it free. Have a collection bucket underneath to catch all the oil that will drain out. Keep pressure on it so that when it's on the last thread, pull it away quickly and let it drain. Inspect your drain plug, make sure the head and the threads are in good shape. Mine is. It is recommended that you replace the gasket or washer every time you do an oil change. This is down to a trickle. This is going to do this for a while, so I'm just going to call this done. Thread on your drain plug. Wipe off anything that is dripping, and let's snug that up. Snug this up. Torque this to 30 foot-pounds. Using brake parts cleaner, clean up any oil that's still dripping. Now, the oil filter will be located towards the front of the engine. If you have a shield in the way, remove it. Mine is missing. We'll use a 3/8 drive ratchet with an extension if necessary and remove the plug on the oil filter housing. Have your drain pan underneath, just in case any oil comes out. In your oil filter kit, you'll find this. This piece you have to stick right in here and press it in, which will help you drain the oil filter housing. We'll just let this drain until it's empty. Once it's done, you can remove it, and that will actually pull the O-ring off with it, which is perfect because that would be our next step, is to replace that O-ring. Wipe off the oil from this surface. Take your new O-ring and place it right in its groove. And then cap it off. Snug it up. Once it's bottomed out, just give it a tiny bit extra. That's it. Now you'll need the adapter cup that goes on this oil filter housing. Sometimes it is necessary to use a bigger tool just because these can be a little bit over tightened sometimes. So I switched over to a socket on a 1/2-inch large ratchet. And that got it broken free. Unthread this all the way. Keep in mind, oil may still drip out of here, so have that collection bucket ready. Unthread it. And there it is. Wipe off this area, just so oil doesn't drip as you work. Remove the old oil filter. Set that aside. Inspect the inside, making sure that there's no debris. Obviously, there's some old oil in here, which you can wipe if you want. We'll put on the new oil filter. Press it on until it clicks. It should be loose a little bit, but it should not fall off. It should be locked in. For the O-ring that we have to replace, you could pick at it with a pocket screwdriver, or if you squeeze and pinch, that'll allow you to just pry it right off. Set that aside. Wipe off the area and, of course, inspect it, making sure that there's no debris here. Take the new O-ring, slide it over, and just work it down over the threads into its groove. It's very important that it does not sit here, but rather in its groove. Perfect. Personally, I like to pre-fill these oil filters, so I'm going to use a little bit of 0W20 oil, which is what this vehicle takes, and I'm going to fill up the center until it runs out. And then I'll let this soak in. You can't fill it too much because this sits a little bit sideways, But filling it up ahead of time, at least a little bit, will lessen the time that the engine runs with no oil pressure after you start it. Now take your oil filter and the cap that it mounts in, thread it onto the housing. You should be able to smoothly thread it on until it bottoms out like that. If it doesn't go on smoothly, something's wrong, so back it off and try again. Snug this up and torque it to 18 foot-pounds. Wipe off any oil that may have dripped. And if you took off a shield to get to this, put it back on. Right here on the driver's side front of the engine, you'll see your oil filler cap. Remove it and set it aside. Also looking at it, you'll see it says 0W20 oil, which you already know that's what we're going to put in. This engine takes 6.8 quarts in total, so that's what we're going to put in. This does count what we put in the oil filter, so put the rest of your 6.8 quarts in. Now keep in mind, we're only putting most of this one in, about 0.8 quarts. We'll look on the side. Yep, perfect. With our oil filled up, let's cap it off. On the passenger side of the engine bay, near your intake tubing, you'll see the engine oil dipstick. Pull this up and out and wipe it off because the first reading that's on it will never be accurate. Make sure you have a clean rag. And what we'll look for on this is for the oil level to be, well, between the two dots, of course, but if you put the right amount in, it should be right at the full mark. If you started your engine, it'll be right on the dot. If you did not start your engine yet and you're checking it prior, it'll be a little bit above. Let's dip it right back in, all the way down, and then pull it right back up. This time, do not wipe it off. Since it is clean, it'll give us an accurate reading. My oil level is right up here, which is normal since I have not started my engine yet. We are definitely filled up. If I had started it already, it would be right on the full line. So at this point, we can put the dipstick back in. On the infotainment system, of course, with the ignition on or, of course, the vehicle running, you'll have to go to Setup and then Vehicle. The only option here for me is Maintenance, so we'll click on that. And here you'll see all of your maintenance items that you can set or reset. So far we have engine oil and tire rotation that are due. Of course, we just changed the engine oil, so I'm going to click on that. That should reset the counter. You can also change the distance. For me, I personally think it should be every 5,000 miles, so that's what I'm going to set. And in 5,000 miles from now, it'll remind me again that I need to change my oil. At this point, you would reset anything else that you've done the maintenance for, and there you have it. Job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.